What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode on Proven Power Cycles. For those who don't know me, I'm Eric. There's Lewis. And Daryl's off right now, so it is the week of Christmas. And, whatever holiday you celebrate. But it is the holiday weeks here, and we got New Year's coming up next week. But, so we figured we'd do a little bit of vlogging. There's not a lot going on, but there's still a lot going on, given that it is the holidays. Every year we just get busier and busier. Every year there's more and more projects to keep going through. We have quite a few bikes still in the shop. So we have some stuff coming for the Gixxer 1000. We have some little odds and ends that we still need to do to clean it up. We had it fired up, we had it running, but we had a little fuel leak, and we noticed the fuel leak is coming from the fitting on the assembly. So we are getting him another assembly, and we're going to modify that new assembly. The reason why we're doing it that way instead of doing just that flat plate is because we actually want him to have a fuel gauge on it and be able to tell when his fuel is actually getting low and that he needs to fill up, so that fuel light will kick on instead of him guessing. So we're trying to do him a solid on that. This bike, we're done, as you guys already seen on another episode. We have already finished this one. We just need to dress it back up. This is the ZX-14 motor with the high compression piston that we did. We're waiting for brackets to come in so we can put his fairings on. That's about it with that guy. Here's a good little update. All right, so we'll update you guys really quickly on this LSR bike as well. So we got oil all in it. We got the battery in it. We took it to KOG to meet up with Chris Burns, who has done the wiring harness. So we've had a few little flaws with the wiring harness, nothing crazy. So we met up with him to kind of get it finished up. We didn't get it they had a lot going on at the event. He had a few bikes that they were trying to get going and keep it moving to the finals. So I know he had his hands tied up, but no matter what, we were just trying. He's from Texas. We're obviously in Florida. He was in Florida, so we were trying to do the best we could just to kind of keep this project moving along. And that's kind of another thing we're still kind of waiting on. We want to finish up this wiring harness. We got to get the block off plates here for the airbox. We got to finish, again, just some of the wiring stuff. We have some loose ends that we got to tie up and get reinstalled on the bike as well. So, but for right now, this is kind of still where it's at. Man, this bike is it's so close. It's so close. But we're getting there. Hopefully we can get this thing wired in here soon. Hopefully he can get the pigtails finished up. There are some things that he did point out that we do need to fix, which not a big deal, some minor odds and ends, but we have to change our wastegate sensor location. We have to change our fuel line routing in the rear. He pointed out a couple of things to us that was like, oh man, I didn't even think about that, because it was sitting on the lift and we didn't put two and two together. But one of which is this fuel line here on the squat. It's going to more than likely hit that swing arm. So it's way too close. So we're going to use a tighter radius, 90, and we're going to try to pull this up considerably higher, probably a good ½ inch or so if we use the tight radius turn, and that way we can kind of bring this fuel line up a good ½ inch or so roughly. So it should give a proper amount of clearance at that point in time, hopefully to clear and not have any issues with it. So that was one of them. The other one, like we talked about, was the wastegate placement, which is down there. The sensor, we kind of hid the sensor up here. Well, it kind of fell down now, but we hid the sensor up here. Oh no, he unplugged it. That's what it was. So he moved it. So we need to move this sensor. We had it tucked up into there. We're gonna move this sensor over to the wastegate, or onto the wastegate, I should say. And then what we'll do, and the last thing we need to do is move the oil pressure sensor, which is located down there. We need to just route that up on a 3AN line, because he was saying the vibrations a lot of times will break that sensor, being that low and just mounted directly to the motor. So needless to say, we're going to move that as well. And other than that, that's about it. We're going to get him a new triple tree. We're going to swap this triple tree out. We're probably going to do some HRP or something like that. We're going to do an ignition delete. So we're going to make this thing look good up in the front here. And yeah, so that's about it on the LSR bike. But hopefully we got everything else kind of set up. It rolls really good, brakes really good. So again, there's just a few minor things. He did end up getting our air shifter wired in, so he did finish this pigtail. So that's resolved now. At least we do, like I said, we have a few other little odds and ends that we got to get cleaned up here and routed and plugged in. And once that's all set and done, again, this thing will be ready to fire up and get it on the dyno for a base map at least. So another big update, we have another ZX-14R OEM rebuild. It's on the lift over there. Lewis just got done knocking that out. We're waiting on a couple little minor things. We ordered him a new oil pump. The mechanism that he did have has some had bearing material all inside of it, and we were trying to clean it and scrape it, but the oil pump, literally the mechanism had spun around and imprinted the shavings. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there is copper material all inside of here. So we opted to just get a new one. They're really not that expensive. I think it was like 40 or 50 bucks. So we opted to get him a new one. Yeah, see, this got all banged up. There's stuff all in it. Like I said, we tried to kind of go through and clean it, but it literally imprinted into the metal. So we don't want to risk anything. It's a cheap replacement. We went ahead and ordered a new one, so that's on the way. Other than that, the motor is completed. So between the oil pump and the oil mod, the last oil mods that need to go on the bike, we can do that with the motor in the frame. So that'll be another step that we're going to take here soon, is we're going to get that motor inside the frame. So that way we can get this thing, we can keep it moving. We have his exhaust system. His exhaust just came in. So we ended up going with a Brock's Predator system. And oh yeah, his clutch mod is in here. A few things. We got a few things in here. Clutch tuning kit, his clutch mod kit, and his exhaust system all in there. So we got that. We're waiting on the swing arm from Evil Swing Arms as well. We have that on order. So once we get the Evil arm in, that will, we just confirmed with them as well. They'll be done with this in the next 2 weeks. So things are going to progress very, very, very quickly on this bike here in the next week or two. We'll have the motor in. We should have the new oil pump. We should have everything else ready to go. We have the new sprockets. We have a chain up front. We have the swing arm coming in. We got the motor over here. This thing will be, we got the exhaust right here. We have the air filters up front. Everything is pretty much ready to go on this thing, on this bike. So once we get the last little bit in, we'll throw it all together and we'll get this thing on the dyno and get it tuned up. And yeah, you should get the bike back very, very soon. The other engine that Lewis has over here, he's working on this engine. This is another 14R motor. We have some piston damage in here, some cylinder wall damage that we were going over last time right in here. It's kind of dark because of lighting, but needless to say, it's dirty. Or it's, yeah, see right in there, look at that. That cylinder wall right there is chewed up. It got burnt. So we have a little burn on this piston. Definitely have some burning on that piston. So he's going to need new pistons no matter what, a couple of them. So, but this is the turbo build that we were talking about, guys. Now, we have been speaking to the owner about it. He does think that he is going to go with the piston kit. We'll see. No matter what, he's going to need to replace one or two. It looks like two of these pistons no matter what. So either way, about the pricing wise, and it comes with new rings and everything, the piston kit. So we can slap a new set of pistons in here. We haven't taken the block apart yet. Lewis hasn't. We're also going to see what we're going to need to do with that cylinder. We're going to see if it needs to be replated or not. So that is going to go off to our machine shop friends and see what their opinion is on it, and kind of get in touch with them and talk to them. So maybe we'll talk to Johnny about it as well. But anyway, we're going to see what's recommended on that and get this thing going, get it all broken down so at least he can decide what he wants to do next. Might be able to reuse the bottom end. Lewis was looking at it. He said everything looked okay in the bottom end as far as the rods go. So maybe we did just have some damage here and in the cylinder head, and that was it. So that'd be a very good sign for the guy. I got two tunes. I'm almost done wrapping up this ZX-6R on the dyno now. And then we got this R1 out here today that we're going to go through. So here's some of the other bikes that we have. We need to retune or work on, or they're just in some sort of progress state. So like I said, the shop is busy. It's just not, we're not getting blown up on the phones and stuff like that. It's just mainly a lot of projects that we just need to get through that were dropped off either before the holidays or during the holidays. We just need to get through them. So the shop stays busy, that's for sure. It's not a, I used to joke about how slow we'd get, and we're not that slow. It's still pretty busy. So this is something that I wanted to show you guys while it was apart, you know, while we're at this stage. But so this customer was talking about the clutch not basically feeling right. He said, you know, we're having issues with the clutch. I keep burning up clutches, and I'm like, something doesn't sound right, because normally with the clutches, especially with the Brock's clutch mod on an all motor setup. So this is the Brock's clutch mod. Those are extra heavy duty springs, and then the purples are heavy duties right here. So and the heavy duties, you'll notice we have a big thick spacer on there. That's a 180 thou spacer. And then on the extra heavy duties, you don't run them because of the spring height. All in all, you'll bottom that out, and it won't want to disengage the clutch. But with that being said, look at the spacers in here. There's supposed to be spring seat washers on this, and they're not there. And as you can see, that washer is actually behind the pressure plate. It's behind it. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's actually behind the pressure plate. So there's no spring seat there.
They're there. He's got this one.
Well, I'm saying it's not on the face.
That one's behind it. This one's there. This
one's
like
chewed up.
One. Well, this one looks like he put a spacer on the nut itself and then drove the nut in, or the other side.
Well, whoever did it, these aren't the right spacers at all, and this one's not right either. Look how chewed up that one is. So
they put a spacer on it. So what I was saying is they essentially didn't have a spacer, so they put their own spacer on that and then drilled that in.
Yeah, right. I get it. They're different sizes, yeah. So if you guys notice here, we have two different sizes. Those are not the correct spring seat washers, which that one doesn't look, well, hold on, let me straighten this up. Yeah, that one, let's see. So this one's not right. I can tell you for a fact, clearly this one's not, because this is a copper washer. Mm-hmm. It's not the right one at all. This is a huge reason why the clutch was not working correctly. I can promise you that. Yeah, these look correct. These look like the right washers right here. I don't even think they was really working. That's why that one got so jacked up right here. So if you notice, the reason why these washers are so important is because look how much that spring digs into the pressure plate. All right? That spring is going to chew up and gnarl up that pressure plate in a heartbeat. Look right here, too. That one got jacked up right here.
I think we're going to have an issue with that.
Whoever's been pulling this on and off has been doing it very rough. So, but that's all right. We're going to get it fixed. We're going to talk to the owner about all this. So, yeah, this is definitely improper install right here. But we wanted to show you guys this. Like, this is another. Again, if you aren't doing the job correctly, you're going to have problems no matter what. So if you do the job right, you shouldn't really have too many issues unless there's just some kind of other kind of fluke. But for the most part, yeah, look, something made contact here too. I just noticed this. Mm-hmm. Look at that.
That's why I was looking at this, because...
Yeah. This has been... this has got all sorts of chewed up. Look, we got metal flakes coming off. We got metal flakes coming off this pressure plate and the inner hub. So this clutch has been getting chewed up. I also want to measure this stack height too and see what the stack height is. So again, we wanted to show you guys this while we're going through it. You know, usually if something don't add up, it's true. Something's not right with the setup and it needs to be fixed or rectified. And in this case, you can clearly see it's not right and it needs to be rectified. So yeah, look at that inner, look at that. Look at this one. Look at this steel. That steel got grooved. That thing got chewed up too. All right, guys, so we have this 14R motor all taken apart here. And as you can see, this skirt, this sidewall here, the skirt is jacked up. This thing is all chewed up on the sides here. And notice this piston ring. So normally these rings kind of float and they kind of dance around. You see how these are expanded out? And then as you compress these, you're supposed to compress them as you slide them into the cylinder. And then once they pop in, the rings kind of pop out and they go against the cylinder wall, right? Now look at cylinder number 4. These are completely pressed in already. There is absolutely no rings sitting on the outside of this. So they got definitely damaged. And then like I said over here, see, this is what they should kind of look like. So that clearly is all jacked up. So cylinder 4 also over here. It's kind of hard to see at this angle, but Yeah, there you go. You can kind of see it, but you can see the wall got chewed up as well. So, and over here we're starting to see signs on cylinders 3 and 2, actually, and 1. We're starting, you can't really see it in the video, but we're starting to show signs of premature wear in the cylinder walls on all of this. So more than likely, I'm going to guess that this thing's going to need to be replated, but we'll see. Anyway, you guys kind of get in the picture here, though. We're going to go through this thing. We're going to, like I said, we're going to send this block off, get it inspected, and we're going to replace some of these components here and go from there. But this motor is officially torn down and ready for processing. We got some other stuff we got to knock out, but here it is, all disassembled, all taken apart. Again, new damage, but like I said, I believe this owner already wants to do the pistons as it is, so this is kind of a good reason to do that. So we'll just have to let them know about this cylinder block, but I'm leaning towards it's going to need to get machined up. It's going to need to get fixed, so, and replated. That's just my guess. I don't think a hone is going to take all that out. That looks like it's burned in.